Well, I get really worried about that.
But versus Clockwork too, like they can close the gap on you with the like surge. As soon as they hit level 2, you surge the Clockwork and it can be scary. But the thing is, like Rubik, Luna, they do have a lot of damage that comes in between the two of them, and you can disrupt the Clockwork with the Rubik. So I think the Luna could be a decent option.
10
trying to think what other ones
remaining.
here.
I guess Razor maybe.
5 seconds.
I haven't been liking them so much with the Viper and the Razors.
No, I think if you pick Razor, you put it in the safe lane. Go back to Envy with it in the safe lane.
Okay, yeah.
Radiant team ban.
Okay, so, same kind of theory. The
old,
dead lane core, right?
The old school versus the Darkseer.
Yeah.
This hero has a pretty big win advantage, I'm pretty sure, over Darkseer in most situations.
And you've got a great mid harassment hero in the Undying, so he's not required to sit in that bottom lane. He can actually just stake out in that mid lane, decaying that mid Death Prophet or whatever.
10 seconds
and over the last
remaining.
12 games that they've run it, since March 1st, Fnatic is 9-3 behind the Eternal Envy Lone Druid.
Yeah, he's had very good games on it. This versus a Death Prophet, which is one of the better heroes versus it. The Spirit Siphon is so good versus the Bear, since it's a set 3,000 health. You're always going to be able to get so much healing off of it.
Yeah, I still think I still think Death Prophet does okay if it's only the Bear running at her. But if you have like 2 other heroes that can run at her alongside the Bear, I think she really suffers. And I think the Night Stalker and the Undying are going to be enough.
You need a lot of follow-up damage for Fnatic.
I really feel like their team fight is quite lackluster.
Yeah, you've got this Night Stalker running in, but you don't have a ton of damage to be able to follow it up. Going on certain heroes that are important to be able to burst down, like this Death Prophet, who's going to have sustain from the Darkseer behind it, who's going to have this frontline Clockwork.
I mean, it's probably not going to happen. I'm being way selfish.
I know what you're going to think. Don't even say it. Take your headsets off before he says it. Just a hint.
Yeah. Before this last pick, you might want to cover your ears, guys.
I don't think they'll pick.
I don't think
I think that's too slow.
They don't have the setup.
More active. Like,
they don't have enough setup either. It's a Rubik lift. He's talking about Invoker, by the way, in case people didn't understand that one. But.
Oh God, I want to see it though.
I think you need something more active, like
I love this crowd,
like Quap or Ember Spirit or something like that.
Can we do this again next year,
really
Paul?
I damn well hope we're back next year.
I like the Lena ban.
Yeah,
the Lena's really good.
I was thinking damage. They need something to burst the Death Prophet.
They're playing keep happy with the balloon.
I love it.
We're satisfied with the simplest of things.
Meanwhile, OPTIC have a lot of options for their last pick carry because they can run it both mid. They can
feel so much more
10
open.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, Lena ban.
Yeah.
What about Ember?
Do Fnatic ban the Brood? Do they?
Usually, 33 would play the Darkseer though.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you never know. They shifted Pycat over the Night Stalker the other day.
We've seen him move lanes.
This is very true.
I love it.
That one guy in the crowd as well that wants the Meepo. That's not happening.
They're taking a long time.
I tell you, man, think about how many styles they can run here. They can run like a hard carry, mid carry. They can for OPTIC. They can run like a life stealer sort of and just get life stealer.
There you go. That's a great
life stealer.
Like they can do so many different ways.
I don't know.
This is the Kunkka versus Death Prophet, right?
Yeah, it is. It's classic. But
and it gives them team fight. It gives them better catch, which they were kind of lacking. They have Night Stalker and Rubik as their catch right now.
Can't you just pick like OD for the save? Because once you have a save against Kunkka, so he just doesn't feel like the same hero.
10 seconds.
Then they've got OD Death Prophet.
Yeah, OD
if the game goes late, it can get very awkward.
I guess you just play straight up, maybe take like a Luna.
I think you played straight up. I think you just picked Pycat, one of his heroes.
Jug, Luna, whatever he pretty much wants to play at this point in time.
I think one of those.
Jug seems good too.
Dude, Fnatic have...
You're not believing
These guys don't hit
believing.
These guys don't hit creeps.
I don't know though.
Like think about it. Before Radiance on Lone Druid, they actually have nothing.
They're gonna have to. I mean,
all their lanes are going to be pushed into their towers, and they're going to be playing like. They're going to play catch-em-all, where they have to like, oh, the top lane's being pushed in, we need to defend that. Oh, now there's a mid problem with the Death Prophet, Exorcism coming, this Darkseer's Ion shelling and pushing into our safe lane tower. What do we do about that?
There's a Rubik there that still plenty of things.
I
think Rubik's gonna have to pop off.
Yeah.
I think Rubik and Cook have to pop off.
I think both.
yeah.
They're
they
the
need,
damage.
They need a spectacular performance from those two. But that's the thing. This is FNATIC.
Choose your hero.
That's dirty.
What a lineup from OPTIC.
That's dirty.
It catches both
And
the
this-
Night Stalker and the Lone Druid.
And it benefits. FNATIC were playing the vision game around nighttime to probably try to take fights around night.
Yeah.
Now Slark is like, all right, I've got the vision advantage versus your Night Stalker versus your Undying in those situations.
FNATIC is 0-3 on the Kunkka, by the way.
Boy.
Well, they need a really strong Kunkka game here because it's Kunkka versus Slark. Like, you actually can get the burst damage against the Slark, but you need to have a good start. You need to get into your like, post 30 minutes. I actually have right-click damage now.
I picked OPTIC in game one, and I really wanted to go FNATIC here. I cannot do it. I think this OPTIC draft is so good.
Yeah, I like optics as well.
Uh-oh.
The curse.
Is the curse panel back?
I'm going to go OPTIC as well.
Okay. All right. All three members of the panel have gone for OPTIC Gaming, which usually means FNATIC will win. But let's find out as we head into game number 2.
Thank you very much, Paul. And indeed, here we go. Game 2 between OPTIC and FNATIC. I'm excited about this because whatever happens, this game, it can't be as boring as game 1. It's just impossible. They were about 10 times noisier for bouncing that balloon around, and I don't blame them. That was the most exciting thing that's happened here in the last hour. But let's see. Game 2 is going to step up. There's a lot of love here from the players here for the UK and from the Observer as well. Of course, Pinbuckle on the camera work. I mean, look at the draft. The panel, they did say all OPTIC, but surely this game can be a little bit closer.
I hope so, and I hope so. I love you, by the way. You're great.
Yeah.
I think that this game, though, it requires FNATIC to show up because OPTIC was dominant in game 1. You can't fault them for that.
No,
absolutely
you can't. As you say, you know, as we were saying at the start of the series, this series meant everything to these two teams in terms of getting towards the eye, and you could absolutely see that in the way that OPTIC played. They played flawless, they really did, and sure, for some of the failed movements there were from FNATIC, at the same time it was just OPTIC playing in a way that just didn't give FNATIC any sort of chance to recover from those early mistakes.
Yeah, I'm going to need FNATIC to play with a sense of urgency right now because for them, this series means even more. OPTIC would have to win another one just to get to TI. FNATIC, all they need is this one series to make it there, and right now you're just not feeling that.
Well, as we've seen with the draft, trying a bit of a different approach this time around FNATIC, and that's exactly what they needed to do. We'll see if they get away with it.
A lot more farm this game. On their heroes, Abed, playing that Kunkka. We saw him quite a bit at MDL.
The battle begins.
And in that sort of mid-lane matchup as well, as the panel talks about during the draft, having the Kunkka against the Death Prophet, one of those melee heroes that can really stand their own and can certainly get an edge in that matchup. And that's the perfect sort of setup for Abed. You want to give him this sort of situation where he can really thrive in just sort of the mechanical prowess that this boy has.
Yeah, and I felt like last game they just weren't able to make enough time for him. This game, he can make enough time for himself. It's a much more team-fighty hero than the PL is. As up at top, 33. Gonna start with the double ion shell. Universe is gonna be up here to tank this. He's got 3 mangoes in preparation for this. Shouldn't be able to do too much as DJ. Gonna bounce him back into the tower, but almost already level 2 on the Darkseer. Meanwhile, at bottom side,
the cost down expected. High, of course, is the ability to get that strength built up with PPD and Zai to make it go on to him, just creating the space here for PyCap, making sure that this Slark can get that early farm. Zai.
Breathe Fire onto Envy. He's caught out by the Pounce too, is taking a lot of damage.
We have to get himself back underneath the tower and start to trade some hits back towards PPD with it there. As Zai still chasing down Pi here between the two of them. Zai throwing the cogs down. Just have to be a little careful as Pi. Didn't quite chase this one down. Doesn't look like it because of the same time. Look how aggressive PyCat's back. He's past the tower. Jumping onto Envy. Zai
would do it.
He's looking at dive in as well, and Envy can't get himself away. First blood for OPTIC as PyCat on the Slark. Just diving in and getting away with the kill. They're looking towards Pi as well. I think he's got a bit of distance shift stacks, but he is pretty deep. Does have to be careful. But this aggression from OPTIC already on this bottom lane with the Slark nonetheless.
And this is a lane that I think FNATIC expected to go a lot better than this, but PyCat, you notice that he's not really focusing on the farm. He's focusing on trying to kill these supports, kill Envy. So far, so good, as once again, OPTIC off to a great start with the first blood, slowing down Envy. Only 3 CS to his name up at top lane. This Darkseer will just continue to get XP, and once he hits level 5, this lane is going to be very complicated for Universe.
Those Iron Shells are really going to stack up in terms of damage. We'll see how they react, and we'll see what sort of movements Universe can make once that first nighttime does hit. Down bottom, Pi, refueled and ready to come back into the lane to provide the space for Envy to farm. Still, of course, suffering in the CS on these early few waves, down to the fact that OPTIC Gaming have played the pressure very nicely down bottom. But the same to be said for PyCat. Despite getting in on the action, he isn't getting an incredible amount of CS. Still that presence of Pilot coming in, disrupting the wave and such, making sure that both cores are sort of struggling to find a farmer mid lane. DJ, he's got the Invis room for the setup here onto CCC. They've got the X-Mark, the Torok combo as well, ready to go. And can CCC keep himself alive at all? No, FNATIC get a kill at the same time down towards bottom. A bit of a go onto PyCat. He's trying to chase down Pilot but the strength is beginning to stack up on Pi. And towards Zai now as well. Ango pop from Pi. He's going to have another sap up, and indeed he takes the kill. Pi gets Zai. MV still trying to play around, but PyCat's been able to salve up. Does PyCat
1 second for the pounce.
Chasing MV, in he goes. He has got a level 1 Dark Pact as well as those Essence Shift stacks starting to build up. MV's trying to run himself away, and he has got the movement advantage, so PyCat will not chase any further and be able to get himself out of there.
Much more successful early game so far from FNATIC. Like just in 3 minutes alone that they played the early kill for mid, they've been able to shore up some of their problems and getting Envy some more farm.
Not fast enough.
So far, so good. And Universe is dominating the charts right now when it comes to CS.
He is getting a lot out of it. DJ doing a really good job at sort of stopping any sort of play here from 33 in terms of trying to pull the waves around, making sure that 33's attention is always going to be elsewhere. He's not putting the pressure onto Universe in this lane. It is going to be a Night Stalker with a very good start. It's just all about how Universe can sort of transition this early farm into some pretty powerful movements during the nighttime that we are seeing about to begin.
Yeah, and you see Zai. Last game, he was so pivotal in that win. This time around, still only level 1 at 4 minutes. Not the kind of start that he wanted.
No. And we said, you know, this game was going to be close, and already we can see it. In the first 4.5 minutes, we've got a much better game here on our hands between these two teams. As we say, FNATIC certainly finding something this time around in the early stages. The bottom lane, how are we still looking at the moment? Envy still falling behind in comparison to PyCat. As PyCat is doubling the CS.
Gonna make the move right now. PPD from behind, but PyCat just gonna leap defensively. Send himself back. They're not really finding any moves to make right now. Zai still only level 1 at 5 minutes. 33 gonna pick up one of the bounty runes. PPD gonna go for the others. But again, not the kind of start that they expected as Envy tries to steal the bounty rune with that Savage Roar. At bottom, Pilot
has been jumped on here. PyCat starting to stack up the Essence Shift, but again, TPs will be coming through. We're going to see this rotation now from Universe. Heads down towards the bottom lane. He's level 5 on the Night Stalker. And he's charging straight away towards the trees. Can they get any sort of catch onto these players? We've got the Void Slow onto PPD. Silence onto the Clockwork to try and stop Zai from being able to slow down FNATIC's advances. But still, FNATIC, they can't quite get through and finish off the kill here. Universe pops the Mango, maybe seeing if there's another opportunity to get involved. But it's pretty hard with Zai around, just having... Even though he's just level 2, the cogs, the battery assault, they can put a stop to these sort of plays that the Night Stalker's going to try for.
Yeah, they can't really afford this once again. The early rotation not really paying off for FNATIC. They want to continue to move their course around, but they're going to make their way mid instead. CCNC is vulnerable. Abed has his DD rune and his ultimate. But they're being so patient right now. CCNC going to scout out Universe.
Yeah, he's aware.
Universe is still not showing on any lane. This should be incredibly obvious right now. Or OPTIC that he's trying to make a maneuver. And CCNC is going to be really careful here.
Yeah, he just backs out of the lane, goes towards the neutral camps, doesn't want to be caught out in the mid lane whilst that Universe Night Stalker is out on the map as he is.
And look at 33 right now. He is caught up in a big way when it comes to CS as a result of this rotation. Universe is still waiting around this area. And it feels like they're still plagued by the mistakes of last game. Universe desperately trying to make something happen. Gets the silence onto CCNC, but he needs a lot of damage to complete this kill.
Fire available for CCNC. He's got the Siphon as well. Let's see if Universe can chase this with this Void. Has he got the damage? He hasn't. CCNC gets away, and as you say, just these sort of plays feeling very frustrating for FNATIC.
They're trying so hard to make anything happen, and once again, forcing it a little bit as Zai Still not really very high levels, as Universe is going to make his way back down towards the bottom. They might pick up Zai for this.
Only level 2 on the clock, but still he gets the cogs down. Universe looking for the wraparound as he jumps across the cliff. Should be able to chase this one down. As again, another Mango is parked, making sure the man is there. Zai, he'll look to try and deny himself the Aegis, but he won't be able to do it. So at the end of the day, or the end of the night, as we've seen here, Universe does get a kill, but it took him a lot of time out on the map, Will. And it is just a level 2 clock.
That took him his entire life from the nighttime. Still wasn't able to get too much out of that. He just bounced between mid and bottom. Didn't even really apply pressure to PyCat as he just continues to farm. That top lane now, it's gone disastrously for them.
Nearly gets a courier. That would have been nice for Universe, but they're on top of it with the protection, keeping that courier safe, Optic.
CNC gonna get run into again, Universe.
I mean, he's got, all the Siphon charges, he's got the tangos, the one he can just turn around and start running back towards Universe, forcing Universe to run himself away.
I guess the upside of this is that Abed is just completely free pumping. Hasn't been touched whatsoever. Zai gonna pick up this DD room, take it away from him.
FNATIC, they do still overall hold that 1k net worth lead, the 3-1. As you say, Abed with the farm that he's getting the levels as well. It's top level on the board, level 8. Let's see if we can get away with sort of making the plays happen, which is, as we know, is it's going to be a little easier for him to sort of have that early impact in comparison to when he was playing the PL, where a lot of reliance was on Envy to sort of make the early movements with the Death Prophet. This time around, the roles are pretty much reversed, with Envy playing the lone druid this game.
PyCat being pressured at bottom right now. DJ already level 6. Has that Ion Shell too.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This time around, we might see a much earlier tier 1 tower going the way of FNATIC. But they're going to get repelled here as PPD in the tree line right now, just playing with them. Pi wants to try to make that dive. He's pinging towards it, but
Radiant's middle tower
neither member from FNATIC is in position for this.
Nice bit of gold there for PPD as well. This picks up the tombstone. CCNC indeed coming down towards this bottom lane, but they have that ward out, FNATIC, so aware of CCNC's movements.
You're
33 gonna pick up this troll. If they want to try to make a move on the Universe, he does have a level of the darkness.
Bottom lane, they get the grab onto PPD and FNATIC, they'll take down the track. Top lane, see if 33 decided to get away with this. There's this troll, some of the trap, first of all with the cogs. Universe has got the nighttime, trying to get himself away, but 33 and Zai surrounding him. He's trying to run away, but the vacuum back is there, the right clicks. He's pretty speedy though, Universe. They'll surge up the troll, some of it's going to go the wrong way. Universe still on the retreat. Is there any way he can get out? He's going to go for the TP out, and he's going to be able to make it in time. Universe plays his way out of a very sticky situation.
Unbelievable. They thought they had that for sure.
I mean, and look, honestly, you've got to draw attention to this mid lane. Look at Abed's net worth in comparison to CCNC. 2k in comparison to the 2.7. There's a massive difference in this mid lane.
Yeah, and that comes off the heels of Universe's rotation. So it wasn't entirely fruitless. He did send the DP back twice, allowed him to pressure it a lot. But the trade-off here is, of course, 33. Got a lot of farm out of it.
Here we go mid, making for a little bit of an attempt on a play. It doesn't look like they want to go any further. DJ does head over, but instantly reactions there from Optic Gaming.
PyCat now,
Dire's structures are fortified.
being the one to rotate early, does not want to be in that bottom lane. Universe.
Bottom lane. PPD, they've got the tombstone down. FNATIC collapsing in onto the PPD. Down on his own. They'll get another. DJ now on a killing spree. Another one to watch, as you pointed out, getting those early levels, making these early plays. This is the sort of playmaking hero that the panel were excited to see. DJ on the back towards the mid. Abed with the combo onto Zai. He's got the cogs down, but he's trapped in there with Abed. As there's the Tidebringer hit, Abed takes the solo kill. Abed setting himself up for success this game as he is storming ahead on this Kunkka.
Much more successful early game from FNATIC.
Absolutely. This is, as we said, this is getting exciting because at the same time as Optic are behind, there's a lot of strengths to talk about for them as well. The fact that, as you mentioned, 33 getting a lot of farm on the dark here, and PyCat Slark as well. He's not falling behind on the Slark. So once he sort of hits the Shadow Blade timing, there is going to be the opportunities for Pi to find these sort of support pickups.
Yeah, he's still an incredibly scary hero right now. And 33 just continues to farm. One of the most talented offlaners. He is pulled way ahead of Universe. You already see it. Level 7 on Universe, level 10 on this Darkseer. Dota is always going to be a game about trades, especially at the highest level. This is the one that they've opted to choose. You're going to give up a lot to 33, but hopefully Abed, putting him in this kind of position to potentially just carry this game. Already has the armlet.
12 minutes in. That is a lot of punch from the Kunkka.
Yeah, and conversely, 12 minutes in, Zai is level 4.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Level 10, that extra bonus damage. These Tidebringer hits are going to hurt if the setup's there, and Abed can certainly look to set him up himself with his tool set. It's PPD coming towards the mid lane, looking to soak up some experience. He's got to be careful. If he gets caught out by a Torrent or an X-Mark, and Abed he can kill a lot of the heroes on the map at the moment.
At bottom, DJ right now, he's being hunted. Zai trying to find the angle right now. Pops the battery assault.
Will be a telekinesis, the clockwork out of it. He goes for the TP. Can DJ actually make it?
Oh, he
made it. Beautiful play there, getting the clockwork out of the cog. So Zai hitting back in time to cancel the TP. Same time up top, make the rotation. X-Mark into the clock. Managed to surround 33. He's worth a lot. He's a big old dog here. They take him down. Zai, he's TP'd in here for FNATIC. They've got the numbers. Universe with the void slowing down Zai. FNATIC, they get both. Double kill for Universe.
You're
unreal from DJ, starting that all with the stolen cogs. Now FNATIC. You're starting to see what you get when you give Abed all this farm. A level 11 armlet Kunkka.
He is incredibly scary. Anywhere he goes, there will be death and destruction. Very close behind him. Universe. But eyes on CC and C. Can they bring anyone else over, though? That's the question. Universe.
Not to get spotted, Zai gonna see. But he's so fast.
Still just level 4, of course, on Zai, so no real sort of catch potential. As Universe easily able to run himself away under the cover of night.
I mean, Zai has to really start thinking about his levels right now. It's 14 minutes in. Hasn't really had any impact. 0, 4, and 0. The complete opposite of the kind of game that he had in game number 1. Now everyone afraid to show on the map just because they have no kill potential on the side of OPTIC. And so you see them relegated to just farming the jungle. It's most likely going to have to just wait for Slark to get that Shadow Blade, create some space for the rest of his team. Because right now, nobody really poses a threat to any of these FNATIC heroes. And this is allowing Envy to slowly come back too.
And Pika is very close to that Shadow Blade. About 100 gold to go and it will be there on the Slark. So then we can start to see the players come through. He's nearly level 10 as well, so he can get that bonus Agi. And then start to make those plays, as you say, open up the map a little bit more and get that little bit safer for the rest of the team to move around as a unit separately and look to find these pickoffs. And punish sort of these free farming heroes like Envy. 2.3k gold. Himself very nicely now towards that relic timing, despite having a tough bottom lane. Where he did struggle to find the early CS.
He's not that underfarmed anymore. No. He's got 2,500 gold built up.
Radiant's
and without the pressure of the Clockwork or the Slark, all 3 FNATIC members just kind of get to do whatever they want, the cores at least. DJ already doubling up the level of this Clockwork. Almost has a 4-staff ready too.
A lot of heroes ready to collapse in on whoever steps forward from PD. They will show himself, and immediately there they go. Tombstone down, out over the X-Mark. At the same time, University DJ, they'll find another. They catch out CCC, and they take both. FNATIC able now with the lead that they have to make these plays just as a couple of heroes. They can go 2 against 1, and most of the time succeed with the pick-off.
And Envy just continues to farm, and this is what you wanted to see last game. Give Universe a type of hero that can make the early rotation, even if it fails at least a little bit.
Radiant's middle
the other 2 cores from FNATIC will gain a lot of farm as a result of that, and that's exactly what we've seen so far. Universe roaming around, sometimes successful, sometimes not, but he's putting pressure on the map.
And look, I mean, things like this, well, this has got to be a problem for OPTIC Gaming. At the same time, Zai, he's just hit hookshot. But DJ, he's already got a 4-star, so already this game for the Clockwork, it must be so hard for Zai to get much done.
Oh, incredibly so. And this is one of the better matchups too. He's playing against a Lone Druid, he's playing against a Kunkka. These are supposed to be heroes that don't really get the opportunity to build 4-staff, so it should be a free game for him. But with the early 4-staff pickup on the Rubik, it doesn't just help himself, it makes it so this hero doesn't really do anything against his cores either. But they are going to make the first rotation. With the smoke, they need to get something out of this, and they need something huge, not just to kill, but to pick off on Abed plus the tower would be the main goal here. They're still not able to find anything as FNATIC just hiding in their own jungle. They've created this tight circle.
OPTIC at least do see the whereabouts of them with that deep observer ward, and it will allow them the chance to push him with the Ghost. CCNC popping the Exorcism. See if FNATIC can do anything to stop this. OPTIC are fully set up for the fight. Do FNATIC want to try and tackle this?
Yeah, they want to fight. They're bringing everybody right now. The aggressive TP from the Rubik PPD.
Universe with the nighttime ready to open up straight away on for Chikiro. Look for the quick kill, they'll get it. That's going to be one down. The tower has fallen as PPD was able to find the last touch upon it. If OPTIC can get every... Not waiting at all for them. They get the tower, they only lose Chikiro.
The boat being thrown out towards the Ancients. Abed just continues to farm.
I mean, 8.3. He's just so far ahead of everyone else in the game. This Kunkka performance so far, and it's going to be terrifying. If he gets the Daedalus in a book, it's going to be an incredibly good timing. Some of these heroes are just going to get one shot out. Hello, Shiva!
Aw. Hi, Sheeves.
So what do we got here? The 12th time in Zai's 460 games since TR5, where Zai's supposed to reach level 6 by the 15 mark. I mean, as we've been pointing out, it has just been very slow levels for him.
Top, Pycat trying to threaten with that Shadow Blade, but runs into Envy. Not the ideal target, who almost has that Radiance picked up for himself. We've been talking a lot about Abed's farm, but this Lone Druid, once he picks up the Relic and the Radiance, will not be far behind.
11-1, 18 minutes, 6k lead. It's like we're watching game one in reverse.
It's just flipped.
It really has. In a different way, though. Sure, they're not taking as many towers as, of course, OPTIC was able to do against them. But the way that they're controlling the map, the fact that Abed is getting out of control on this Kunkka. There's a lot of things that OPTIC have to be very worried about off the back of the laning stage, where they suffered in sort of the same fashion that FNATIC did in game one.
Yeah, the annoying thing about playing against FNATIC is that they just continue to farm. And you know it. Every single person on this team is just going to hit a lot of creeps. You see Universe is doing that right now. Envy stuck to the jungle. Abed farming Ancients. Everybody on this team is just farming. It's a little bit swapped where OPTIC, it feels like they want to go more for this objective style gaming, but FNATIC just want to out-farm you. So far, so good as Envy doesn't even have boots.
But the Radiance, pretty much there.
Radiant's middle tower
so now not only this massive Kunkka you have to be scared about as OPTIC, you've got to worry about the fact that Envy's Lone Druid has got the Radiance at a very healthy timing. They are going to be able to farm that little bit faster than OPTIC Gaming. OPTIC Gaming is trying to... Sure, the Slark, Pycat can farm pretty nicely with the Dark Pack, but keeping up with a Lone Druid in his Radiance, that's going to be quite something else.
Envy, he's going to know right now. Going to get jumped up by Pycat.
He's going to step out of here at all. Envy hookshot in, but it's actually going to be blocked there by Pycat. Envy does walk through the wall. Backup's coming in. Can they save Envy here? They might just be able to. Universe comes in with a pipe. Envy's going to be fine as they look to turn this around. Vacuum's going to be used by 33, but it's not going to get him a kill. He's going to fall as well as FNATIC. They have come into this game too. And I don't know what sort of talk they had between game one and game two, but it must have been quite some talk indeed. This, I mean, it's good to see, because you never know. After a game one like FNATIC had, they could have just come out, they could have looked just as broken, and it could have been a repeat. But they've changed it up. They've changed their approach to this series, and this is the FNATIC that we expected to see, the FNATIC that we'd seen earlier in this LAN.
Yeah, this is a mentally strong team. You saw how beaten their faces looked after game number one. It looked like the series was almost completely over. But they were able to reset themselves, and now they're in a position 13-1. We said they wanted to play with more urgency, and they've done so far.
Absolutely. This is FNATIC's turn to show that hunger they have for those DPC points.
If you want to get to TI right now, it starts with this game. Bottom lane, the Bear being sent down there to deal with this. And now they're starting to take over the entirety of the map.
Are fortified.
They really are. Azabed, how's he looking at the Daedalus? He's going for the Blink Dagger next. If he gets these crits with the Tidebringer, it kind of becomes impossible for OPTIC Gaming to take a fight if they're grouped up and trying to fight around the CCNC Death Prophet. They're just going to take so much damage off that one hit at the start of any engagement.
That is unreal. 21 minutes in, Daedalus armlet.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And another tower to be taken by FNATIC.
And how do you threaten anybody? You saw the attempt at top. They threw a lot just to try to kill Envy. Envy didn't even have boots. He has no real defensive items. He's got that Helm of Dom, and they still weren't able to move down.
And into the pit they go, FNATIC. As they'll look towards the Roshan, will be scouted out by the rocket flare. But can OPTIC Gaming really look to attempt any sort of fight around this pit? It doesn't look like they will.
Look at this. They know they've been scouted and they don't care.
They don't care. They know how strong they are at the moment.
They're completely unfazed. That rocket spotted them in the act. Zai gonna throw another one.
They got it. FNATIC just continuing this flow. This get 10k lead, 30-1. His Universe, he's found out Zai as well. Zai farming very, very deep. As a TP from DJ will come across as well as he wants to play around, get himself involved with a kill onto Zai. They'll find it. Just more guts and glory for FNATIC.
This top lane from FNATIC. Universe 702, DJ 405. It has worked wonders for them. And now PyCat continues to try to go on the hunt. Just unable to find anything as all of FNATIC, they're pinging upwards. Universe got his smoke broken.
Got to get out of here. OPTIC Gaming.
BPD trying to CP out.
It's going to be hard to do so, Universe.
He's buying out, he knows.
He's hunting for his old captain and he's found him. PPD, he's gone. No escape for the Dragon. 15-1. It just continues. I mean, what a weird series this has been already. The fact that it could swing around in such force from game 1 to game 2. It's literally like we're looking at two different teams here in terms of how much the sort of strengths have changed. OPTIC in game 1 showing us their strongest of hands, and FNATIC in game 2 doing exactly that as well.
15-1 OPTIC. Not able to make any sort of plays. Like you said, it just feels like two different teams.
Yeah.
Game number 1, OPTIC just looked like world beaters. FNATIC, they made FNATIC look terrible. And this game, FNATIC just doing the same. Both teams trading stomps, DJ with the lift.
Towards TCNC, not wanting to dive too far though.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Did you see that? They literally just sent the Dire courier into OPTIC Gaming's base. I don't know what that was. Someone didn't have their eyes on the micro there on FNATIC.
Okay.
As top PyCat, I don't know what's going on. Was that like a VM courier feed?
I don't think it changes too much.
I mean, it doesn't, but they sent it straight in. I guess to get the vision, perhaps. You know, some next level play.
It was like to assert their dominance.
Or maybe just a
You're
I guess
trusty
so.
mate.
Wow. AC is going to be the next item for Envy, as his farm, of course, catching up that top point with Arbed, soaring ahead of the cause of OPTIC.
That should help.
Very painful time as well for PyCat to be off the map. This Slark is pretty much the hope that OPTIC are relying on, sort of similar to how FNATIC were relying on Arbed to be able to get something done on his PL last game. But I think in sort of a similar turn of the story,
You're a trusty
I don't know
mate.
if this Slark is enough.
I don't think he's going to be. At this point, it's so hard for him to get into these fights.
Just sort of fighting into this five-man push, the control that we've seen that they have. They'll smoke. They're looking for some way to sort of get some sort of surprise jump onto FNATIC.
Dire are scanning.
FNATIC slowly sieging with the bear.
They've got the Aegis too on it.
Radiant's middle
As the tier 2
tower has
got
fallen.
OPTIC, despite that smoke attempt, just can't really do anything to stop it. CCC heading forward. But FNATIC, this five-man, you just can't fight into it with a five-man of gaming. You have a Slark on your team. This is not a hero that went behind, wants to go in and fight against a five-man. It's impossible for PyCat to turn up and do anything in these team fights.
There's just too much control for him at this point. There's so much damage on the side of FNATIC. Everyone is tanky. Everyone is farm on the side of FNATIC. The ideal target would be for him to go for Envy, but Envy has that Aegis. Sai showing up in mid lane. He's got multiple heroes here right now. Universe gonna get stunned out.
Pretty tanky though. Can they have the damage to finish off? They've got the exorcism onto it, but he pops the Crimson Gun. He's starting to push himself away. PyCat is coming in with the Shadow Blade. They're going onto Pyro Dynasty. Universe, he's just not going to die. There's the timer again for Arbed. With the ghost ship coming through as well. They have managed to take down Envy once, but he's got the Aegis. He's ready to go again. 3 dead, 4 dead on OPTIC. They just can't play into this.
You're a trusty mate.
This series will. I mean, we saw
You're a trusty mate.
Everyone and their family was online. Their pets saying, "Oh, what's going on here with FNATIC?" And now the game 2, it's going to be the other way around. Everyone's going to be hitting to the keyboards and saying, "What the hell's going on with OPTIC?" People aren't going to know who to blame. This might have just broken the internet, this series.
They are so confused right now.
Who do they blame? Who's bad? Who's great? Who's winning TI? Who's not even going to go?
Envy just hitting this racks. Caught a lot of flack for game number 1. But in game number 2, it's 21-1.
Radiant's middle
Easy set of racks being taken right now.
I'm sure we sometimes see series where you get game 1 going 1,
Dyer's
and 2 going the other, but never in this sort of fashion I feel that I've ever seen this much of a contrast between 2 games. In a semi-finals, no less, at a major.
33 rooted up, getting hit by the bear right. OPTIC, maybe their last hope in this.
CC trying to head in, he's got the silence, the tombstone's going to be downside, looks like forward to get the cruising guards out, PPD comes in with the silence with the ice park, that macro fire, go look at that macro fire if you're an OPTIC fan, because it's doing nothing at this stage. FNATIC, they stay alive, they're taken down to PPD, hands off the keyboard, he knows this is over, GG is called. FNATIC making OPTIC look like bigger fools than OPTIC made FNATIC look in game 1. FNATIC going to game 3, what's going to happen in What's going to happen? I'm glad we got a game 3 here for the crowd because, again, I deserve it. They do, after those 2 games, they certainly deserve it. This series